The suitcase looks inevitable, yet travelers crossed continents for generations before rolling luggage became normal. The strange part: a patent for wheels and an extending handle appeared in 1963, while the airport bag most people recognize did not break through until the late 1980s. Between those dates sit forgotten designs, jet travel, and a pilot in his garage. Why did humanity put people on the moon before it put the right wheels on a suitcase, and who actually deserves the credit? Before a suitcase was an object, luggage was an operation. Travelers packed chests, then relied on animals, carts, sailors, and porters to move them. A petaca from New Spain preserves one solution: a reed structure covered in leather, built for belongings and trade across Atlantic and Pacific routes. Such containers protected a household in motion, but they assumed someone or something would carry the weight. The suitcase began not with one inventor, but with the ancient problem of moving a private world through public space. That problem demanded a smaller box. Industrial travel changed the geometry. A domed chest shed rain, but its curved lid wasted space in a railway van or ship hold. Louis Vuitton's own history says that around 1860 his workshop replaced the rounded top with a flat, stackable one, reinforced with slats and built from lightweight poplar underpainted canvas. The mechanism was simple: make luggage fit the transport network, not merely the owner's wardrobe. Yet the result was still a trunk large, rigid, and commonly handled by paid labor. The box had adapted to machines before it adapted to the human arm. Speed would expose that mismatch. Travel accelerated, and the trunk shrank. Merriam-Webster dates the first known written use of suitcase to 1873, not the object's birth, but evidence that a category was visible. Smaller cases rode beside passengers instead of disappearing into cargo. Steamship and railway systems encouraged repeatable dimensions. A Smithsonian steamer trunk from the 1880 to 1920 period preserves that logic in canvas. Makers copied formats, travelers added labels, and ownership blurred across workshops. The opening was clear: sell mobility not as freight, but as something one person could carry. A suitcase materials reveal the era that designed it. Wood meant structure. Leather and canvas resisted abrasion. Vulcanized fiber made rigid cases cheaper to repeat. Samsonite's corporate timeline begins with Jesse Schwader's robust wooden trunks in Denver in 1910. It says the Samsonite name appeared on the fiber-covered Streamlight line in 1941. Those layers are a fingerprint. The old trunk survived inside the new case as a wooden frame. Even the name promised strength, borrowing from Samson, but strength was about to lose its monopoly because aircraft charged every unnecessary pound a hidden price. The jet age repackaged the suitcase around speed. Samsonite says its 1956 lightweight line shifted from wooden boxes toward magnesium and ABS. Flying also escaped its elite niche. The National Air and Space Museum reports passenger numbers more than quadrupled from 1955 to 1972. More people crossed larger terminals, changed flights, and handled their own bags. Luggage had to survive conveyor belts yet remain light enough for a car or overhead space. The industry refined shells, zippers, and handles, but left the traveler's arm doing the hardest job. Airports kept growing around that burden. Bernard Sadow faced that problem after hauling bags through customs from Aruba. The Smithsonian says he attached 4 trunk casters and a long strap to a suitcase. He filed in 1970. Patent 33663373474 arrived in 1972, describing mounted rollers and a flexible transport strap. Macy's marketed the luggage that glides. The case rolled, but it wobbled, needed towing room, and carried an awkward social image. Sales made the object visible, not mechanically final. Balance still mattered. More importantly, the patent archive contains an earlier machine. That is where the neat origin story breaks. 9 years before Sadow filed, Carolyn Boatner submitted a mechanical proposal. Her application linked an extending handle to retractable wheels. Patent 3.178.1997 followed in 1965. Later, Robert Hager filed a design with an extendable handle stored inside the case, granted in 1974. These documents established designs and dates, not mass production, sales, or the first workshop idea. Each inventor balanced carrying, rolling, and storage differently. The irony is that the archive preserved solutions the market had not chosen. The mechanism existed before the market was ready to notice. The decisive refinement came from inside aviation. In 1987, Northwest Airlines pilot Robert Plath built a carry-on with 2 wheels and a long, retractable handle in his Florida garage. Instead of towing a flat case on 4 casters, travelers could tilt an upright bag and pull it behind them. Plath first made rollaboards for pilots and flight attendants. That detail mattered. Crews crossed terminals every day, became demanding test users, and displayed the design to thousands of passengers. Plath left flying to build Travel Pro. The forgotten problem had finally found both its mechanism and its moving advertisement. Open the patent record and the breakthrough becomes a relay. Boatner documented retractable wheels linked to a handle. Sadow patented rollers with a flexible strap and reached a major retailer. Hager integrated an extendable handle into the case. Plath's 1989 filing, granted in 1991, described the balanced, carry-on size rollaboard with built-in wheels and a retractable friction-locking handle. The archive establishes those claims and dates. It does not crown one universal inventor of wheeled luggage. What history hid was not a stolen idea, but a sequence of solutions waiting for travel behavior to catch up. So who invented the modern suitcase? No single name owns the answer. Trunk makers made luggage stackable. Material engineers made it light. Boatner and Hager documented mechanisms ahead of adoption. Sadow patented and sold a rolling case. Plath refined the pull-behind form and spread it through flight crews. Today, the suitcase has become data. IATA requires member airlines to track checked bags at 4 handoff points. Yet, its deepest purpose is unchanged. A scratched cardboard case kept by immigrant winemaker Miljenko Grgic now sits in the Smithsonian One Private Life, packed small enough to move.